Hey guys, welcome back to Sober Talk. You're here because you want to get sober, you need to get sober, or perhaps you're just sober curious. Whatever the reason is, I'm glad you're here. Here's a story about this show. I have quit drinking many times. I've quit for 6 months. I've quit for a year. I've quit for 2 years. This time I'm doing something different. I'm working the steps and I have high hopes. We're starting the podcast over because it kept on locking up. So anyway, we're gonna have a good time. I may have to get Dollar Green back on the show sooner than later because it was such a good. He has so much to talk about. And hey, in the description, I've included links to our podcast, our YouTube page, our private Facebook group. The group is great to get support and just talk to other people in recovery. We also put a link in the description about how you can become a supporter. It's like $5 a month, and you can cancel anytime. And that money is going to go to hiring a intern. You know, if I can find someone like $10 an hour to come here during the week. This is what's going on today. I've been dealing with this show all day today, even trying to get that little thing in the corner that says podcast was a 3 or 4 hour endeavor. So I appreciate you guys being here, and I'm sorry about the bandwidth. I don't know what's going on. So we will get it off worked out. Work has an F into it now. I wasn't cursing, Mom. All right, so here we go. We're going to call. Let's try. Let's try Darren real quick. All right. I appreciate you guys being patient. What? This is what they say. This is live Facebook, people. It's exciting live Facebook stuff. So.
Well,
Hey, how are you?
doing good. How are you?
Who is this? I don't recognize the voice. Is this the person I'm supposed to
Daryl.
talk? This is Daryl. Daryl, why have I been
Yeah,
calling
you
you
kept
Darren?
calling me Darren.
Darren, I know. That's
I
fine.
don't know.
That's a way of me
Well,
asking
you know
who
that
this is.
that's the first clue of the sign of an alcoholic. Can't remember someone's first name.
Well, there you go. How are you? We talked to you a couple of weeks ago, and
Yeah.
are you sober right now?
Oh yeah.
How long?
Yeah.
Tell them folks at home how long you've been sober, because I forget.
Well, the first time around, it was I sobered up in January of '87, and then I went through a divorce, and I decided I had that coming. I had a party coming because I went through a divorce, so I went out and I
Yeah.
lit it up for a few months,
Okay.
and it was the dumbest thing I ever did, but it happened.
Did something when you started drinking? Did you drink until just something really bad happened? You hit a rock bottom and you quit. What happened?
The first time, you mean? The first time around, or?
No, after the divorce. I'm curious what got you back, on track.
Yeah, law enforcement. I got pulled over,
Oh,
and
jeez.
I got real lucky. I could have gotten a drunk driving out of it, and I got really lucky. And I said, I looked at my wife, then girlfriend. I told her I can't do this anymore. I told her I know a better life.
Yeah.
And she joined on right with me, and she's been sober every day with me.
Oh man, that's great. That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
How are you? Do you go to meetings often?
Oh yeah, when I can, I do the Zoom meetings, and I've got a great support group. I belong to an organization. It's Clean and Sober Bikers. It's an organization I belong to. That's kind of I go to AA meetings and I say I have an insurance program. I have this meeting, but I also have my brothers.
Yeah.
Guys that we ride, and and I've got that extra support group, and it's phenomenal. So
No, that's great. And that's what I'm kind of, I like my Zoom, but right now I'm liking sober talk better. But I have to stay in check. I got to have those proven
yeah,
tools to get happy.
yeah,
And that first, unawakening, talk. I think it's page 66 on the big book. I can't recall,
yeah,
but anyway, it's a great, God lift any, the insecurity, the self, motive, the self-serving motives, because my whole life is self-serving motives, and I like doing
yeah.
service. Do you do service? Do you find like when you want to drink, you go do
Oh,
something good for people?
I do service all the time. I mean, I probably do too much for people, but that's just the way I am. I'm a very giving person,
Yeah.
and I like doing that though.
Well,
Because I really believe when we leave this earth, that our reward is going to be based on what we did here. And I truly believe that. And I'll help anybody, especially if they're an addict, recovering, or if they need help. I'll bend over backwards to help them. So it's a vicious thing, and to be caught up in it, it can be really scary. I think somebody had commented earlier. I forget what the comment was, but they're afraid they're going to use again.
Yeah, I think everyone here is afraid they're going to drink or use again.
Get on the phone, call someone that you can trust, that if they're in the program, call them. Hit a Zoom meeting. I know right now the way the world is, it's upside down, but there's still options. Yeah. Get on the phone with somebody.
Yeah.
And one, don't have it in your house. First of all, don't have the stuff in your house.
Yeah, that's what I tell a lot of people. But I'm to the point now where I don't mind if my wife drinks. It doesn't bother me. But I just got to remember that I cannot drink, and that's the problem. Every time I would, like I said, I went the last big run I had was 2 years. And I was like, I'm okay. Yeah. I look good. I feel great. I could drink some, and I was loving it. And then, but it just progressively just got worse and worse, and I started drinking every day. And then I started, doing stupid crap and saying things, and I wasn't there for my family or my kids, or my friends. I just was not. I'm not. Well, hey, I'm going to cut you short because I have so many calls.
To say one more
no,
thing.
Yeah, I was going to give you 60 seconds. I just didn't want you to think I was being rude.
Yeah, just like where you're saying, the last run you had. Well, after I had been sober for 24 years, and I didn't do the stuff about I had a slip. No, it's not a slip. I went out and I drank. I did it with a purpose. I did it with a meaning. It was pre-planned. Nobody forced it down my throat. But I was always told that you'll go out, and I spoke about this last time we talked. I went out there with a vengeance to make up for lost time, and believe me, I tried.
Yeah.
And it's a very sick, twisted disease. And anybody ever needs to talk, I'm there for them.
Yeah, and hey, join our private group. Anyone can join. They'll accept you. So, God, I hope I'm not fighting something here. But all right, Daryl, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you.
You bet.
Right.
You take care now. Thank you. Thank you for what you're doing, Tom.
No, thank you for being here, and we'll talk again soon.
All right, take care, man.
Thanks,
Bye.
brother. Always a good time talking to Daryl. I don't know why my brain is still jello. It's still trying to recover from the daily massive drinking. Have some chocolate. Mike Mann says, I have chocolate. I agree with that. Let's call Mike up. Let's see what he's doing.
Hello.
Hello. What's that sound? Hello. I see someone watches Seinfeld. I was, hello.
Hello. Yeah. Hi. Great to be here.
How do you pronounce your last name? Johnson?
Monty. Hey, I pronounce it Monty, but
it's like Mabe. Tom Mabe.
Yeah.
So, but Monty. Won't you spell it Monty? Not I don't know how to pronounce that. So, man, tell us your story. Are you sober now? Or you want tell me a little bit about yourself?
Oh, I had not to brag, but because it can go any day now. But I've had 8 years last month, so
yeah. Woo.
But
awesome.
it was I've been in and out. I started real young. I started when I was 12, 13 years old. I was a drummer in a band.
What was your drum? You still play drums?
Yeah, and piano, and I've been in bands my whole life.
What kind of drums? What's your drum of choice? Gretsch, Slinger?
Right now, I've got actually I have a set of Tamas right now.
Yeah, Tama. What's the Rockstar series? That's a good.
It is.
Kenny Arnoff. Yeah, I'm a drummer. If you ever visit the Tom Mabe Comedy Compound, I have one room just filled with old vintage drums. My mom was a jazz drummer. She's a musician. My dad come out. He was So, and before comedy, I was a producer, and you hear a lot of my music on the radio and TV shows that you didn't know was me. So, a little bit of trivia for the folks at home: comedy was just a fluke. So,
how about that?
Yeah. So
the way I played drums was kind of funny. So I guess I was comic too. But no, I played. I played in a band with my cousins who were older, and
they drank.
I couldn't afford to buy beer, and they drank, and they bought it, so they got me started. Plus, their whole family's like from the old country, and and it was everybody drank in our family. You know, it was just common that you give the kids a little nip every now and then, you share a beer, that kind of stuff. So
I wonder if they have any 12-year-olds that go to meetings. That'd be hilarious.
yeah, they have meetings
So
for 12-year-olds.
you have 8 years. How long did you ever do anything other than alcohol? Was there any drugs involved, besides pot?
Well, sure. When I was in college, I started smoking the pot, and that was my drug of choice. And then I was kind of known as try anything once, you know.
Right.
Anything that anybody handed me, when you think of how stupid it was, but this was the 70s, man, and you know, they'd hand you something, you had no idea what it is, and you just take it, you know.
Yeah.
And then you'd wake up on the floor, you know, you have no idea what you were doing. But it became a badge of courage, you know. I always wanted to be the big shot.
Yeah, man, alcohol, that beer courage was. You're right. And I started drinking heavily when I started doing stand-up comedy, because I could get up there and, well, what's up, bitches?
Yep.
I was definitely. I was not saying that toward women, but it was just something I used to say again on stage. What's up, bitch? But it was when I was drunk. I had some of the best shows with the 2 or 3, beer buzz or bourbon and Coke.
Well, me too.
Yeah.
It became mandatory.
Yes.
And well, I played piano later on. I quit playing drums and went to keyboards,
Mm-hmm.
and it was mandatory pretty much to drink 3 or 4 beers before a set, and then drink while you're drunk, or drink while you're playing.
I traded a set when I realized that that I was going to be bigger than drums. I wanted to be more versatile than drums. I traded a set of crystal, beautiful Ludwig Vistalites, blue Vistalites, and for a Korg DW6000, and that's how I got. I was a teenager. As a matter of fact, I got it from Willis Music in the Jefferson Mall, and I traded these drums for this keyboard, and that's how I switched over to keys. The same. Wow, it's so funny. A lot of drummers do switch to piano.
Well, yeah, I actually was playing piano first and went to drums because of Dave Clark back in the 60s, Dave Clark 5. That's what got me on the drums. And plus, my cousins played guitar, and they wanted to join a band, and we couldn't afford an organ or a piano.
That's how I started playing bass guitar. We duo with my brother. So your rock bottom. How old are you now? And you quit drinking 8 years ago. How old were you when you quit?
I was 60.
Shut the hell up! Are you 68 years old?
Yeah.
Dude, you don't sound like it. How amazing is that? It's really weird.
Well,
not weird.
I look at the comments and it does seem like you do have you have people that are newer, and I'm so grateful and thankful that that these people are on here, and a lot of them are a lot much younger than I am. And when I would go to AA meetings and seeing young kids in there, it broke my heart. But I was so thankful that they were getting started younger.
Yeah, you're
but
probably.
I went to. I spent like 25, 30 years thinking that I had a problem or knowing that I had a problem, but I didn't want to go to AA. AA was for losers, man. It was a dirty word. In fact, it was probably a comedy skit,
Oh yeah, Eddie Murphy did it. Your dad's an alcoholic. Yeah, I mean, AA was just. Well, I remember as a kid, you said, "Oh, his dad's an AA." Oh my, well,
exactly.
I wasn't allowed to go over their house. I mean, oh, he's going to get drunk and do something bad. It was such. And now we're broadcasting live about it. Hey, I'm a drunk. What's up?
Right.
Pass the salt.
But to be, I went into, I checked myself into. They told me that I didn't need an inpatient rehab, but they had an outpatient rehab, which was 3 days a week, 3 hours a night for like a couple months. And the only reason I did that is because I thought I could do that without going to AA. And I thought, well, this will get me cured. I can go to this. And I was the king of rehab. I thought that was the greatest thing in the world until they said, well, you have to start going to AA in order to keep sober.
So rehab was just the first grade. Now you got to go to the second grade. And wow.
I didn't. Wow, man. And then, so I went to AA, but I did not work the program, and I didn't get a sponsor. But I ran my mouth a lot. I was king of AA, man. I ran my mouth. I knew everything there was. I was on the pink cloud for like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, and that's can I interrupt? That's where I'm at now. I'm doing this Zoom meeting, but I really got to start working the steps. And I did first, second, third step, and found my higher power, and my higher power is definitely God, and all that. My self-will does not work for me because I've tried it for 40 years.
Yeah.
And I want to give it over to God's will and the universe, because I'm like, I just I don't I'm a religious person, but I have two higher powers. I look out the earth. And go, God, who did this? This is freaking amazing. And then, well, it came from aliens. Well, who was their God? Someone has. There's some bigger, higher power. So but I'm like I'm just I'm avoiding step 4 and 5, and it's very hard for me to
Those
write.
are that's tough. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to put all that stuff down on paper.
Yeah, but
Because
I've kind of just, I read my daily reflections, and I got this really cool app called the Spiritual Toolkit, and but I'm half-assing it. I have not. I'm kind of recovering from just everything, and the business
well,
here. Anyway, it's just
yeah, yeah. The easy does it one day at a time, right? Those things that you see written on the walls in
but
those
if
rooms are
someone needs to kick my ass if I'm doing this a year from
yeah.
now, because I just want to be
Yeah,
like,
hopefully your sponsor, if you have a sponsor, will he'll do that to you.
yeah, yeah. Well,
I
I
mean,
have.
that's what I did because I didn't get a sponsor until the second time around.
So
And
I don't want
you
to.
were
I want to
asking
be
about
one
my
and done, man. I don't. I this.
yeah,
I do not want a
yeah.
second time around.
Well, Tom, I mean, it took me 14 years to get back to it. I did a lot of practicing between that 1996 and 2012. Um,
Yeah.
so and then I really my bottom. I didn't have a real heavy duty bottom like killing somebody or killing myself or killing getting in fights or DUIs.
Hmm.
Um, I just realized my relationship with one of my daughters was really bad, and I yelled at her one night. And I just realized I was drunk, and I apologized to her the next morning. And that day, I went back to an AA meeting, and I went to a daily AA meeting for a month before I told anybody about it. Didn't even tell my wife. And I was going to meetings, and I thought I was getting a lot out of it. This old timer came up to me and said, "So, Mike, it's great to see you." He goes, "Do you have a sponsor yet?" And I said, "No." And he goes, "Well, I think you're just blanking around." And it kind of hit me. And he said, to get serious in this, you better get somebody to help you work the steps. And I did, and that's really what kept me sober.
There must be something to it. I was, and I hear about these two guys last night, one 10 years, one 20 years. Neither had AA.
Right.
But again, this platform, this is not a AA. This
I
is not.
understand.
Yeah, this is. I mean, we got people who are they're
I
addicted to the
understand.
gym now, or they have a different path, and that's the most
Sure.
beautiful thing about this, because I went to AA for years and years. I tried them on and off, and I probably went to 40 or 50 AA meetings. I never could find the right one. I wanted to
Yeah.
drink when I left. It was just
Yep.
so. It was that I do really enjoy my Zoom meeting. The early worms I'm doing right. Not, I've yet to speak or raise my hand or to be on video in a Zoom meeting. 7 a.m. I'm in underwear with a cup of coffee. But I'll get there. I don't want it. I don't want it going away. I don't want to. I want to try it this way, and hopefully this way will work for me. I get so far so good. I mean, I have worked the first 3 steps really hard, but and really read some. The big book has so many great stories. And I found
Doesn't it though? Really does.
the one thing I took away from it. And I talk about this all the time, but is the vicious cycle. And I finally like, okay, now, yeah, I could tell you every single, when I went off the deep end. I went off the deep end. There's several times I went off the deep end between ages 21 and where I'm at now. It's geez Louise, so bad. And I'm aware. I'm not an idiot. I would be an idiot if I start drinking again. But yeah,
Yeah. I I I was lucky. That meeting that I started. I felt at home at that one. But yeah, like you, I've been to a bunch of them where I just did not fit in, did not like it. It was too big or too small. I didn't like the people. I didn't like that some of the old timers would just be grumpy old men, screaming at you, and so you have to kind of look around. And I God bless the people that like you said, that don't need to go to AA to stay sober. Because it's staying sober is what it's all about. Um, but yeah, I was in denial. I just said, well, I'm just a nice guy that drank a little too much. 6-pack Joe, and And they said, well, the room is full of people with six-pack Joes and full of people that are just nice guys,
Right,
that drink too much, you know?
right,
So,
right, right.
but,
Well, man,
um,
leave us with something. We got about 90 seconds here. Leave us with something really, really, because we had to take a break because of the Wi-Fi.
well,
But give us
the
a
one
little,
thing,
yeah,
yeah, to me, that when I was new, one thing that I tried to do um, in the big book and how it works um, on page 58, how it works. We used to read it before every meeting, and the thing that really struck me is like in the first paragraph, it mentions the word honesty like three times, and it said, you know, rarely have we seen a person fail who's thoroughly followed our path, and it was usually people who cannot or will not completely give themselves to the program because they can't be honest with themselves.
yeah,
So one thing I tried to do, and I think I've done this, I used to lie all the time. I
mm,
used to pretend on who I was. People would ask me what you do, and if I'm a salesman, I'm like, well, I'm a sales manager. You know, I always tried to be the big shot. I would lie about everything.
yeah,
And what I've done is just really have tried to practice to be honest in everything that I've done since then. You know, everything that I do, and when anybody asks me anything, I try to be as honest as I possibly can. So
yeah.
that was one thing. If I can give you any wisdom, it's be honest with yourself, be honest with the program, be honest with other people, you know, and be
Do you
honest
do
with.
your nightly resentments? Do you ever go through your nightly inventory and kind of go through the good things that you did today and the
The,
bad
the,
things?
the gratitude, yeah, I would do the gratitude more than the negative things. I would do a gratitude list.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I did that helped me the most, or one of the things that helped me the most, was the third step prayer, and really paying attention what's in that third step prayer because it's got that the second sentence in it is relieve me of bondage of self.
Yeah.
And that is
Right.
so true. You know, it's like
Yeah.
that just hits me like crazy. So I would repeat that prayer over and over and over again. I think the more you repeat something in your head, it kind of sticks to you, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh.
And yeah, that helped me a lot. So I think being honest with yourself, and then that third step prayer, relieve me, you know, pray to God to relieve you of the bondage of self, so that you could better do His will. That's
There
what
you
my
go.
line is.
Well, brother,
Yeah. So
thanks for hopping on, and it's Monty's your last name.
yeah, Tom, it's been a pleasure, and I've enjoyed you for many years. One of the funniest guys I've ever seen or heard.
Ah,
So
well, thank. It's funny. A lot of people who watch this have no idea that my other career,
oh my
and the
God, I
people.
used to listen to you back with John Boy and Billy
Oh
back in the days,
God,
like
I
30
love
years ago,
John.
25 years ago.
Yeah, I think I did John Boy and Billy in 1997. Started doing it. I just did their show. I was going through doing a bunch of comedy zones, and took my daughter on the road with me. That was in my 2 year stint of being sober, where I should take a kid with me on the road and not worry about driving drunk or anything.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
so this
yeah.
is really, really cool. So, all right, brother, I'll talk with. We'll definitely have you on again. And thanks for the kind words, and thanks for your wisdom, and the whole
Yeah,
honesty,
thank
the
you, and
honesty thing.
congratulations to everybody.
And
Everybody that's on
what
here.
what did you call it? The gratitudes or what? The nightly
Yeah,
inventory.
gratitude list. Make a gratitude. Yeah, an inventory of gratitude. The things you're grateful for.
All right.
Go through a list of man. Even
And
it
the
can
stuff
even
that
be
you did,
small things. You
and
know,
some of the crappy things
small
you
things.
did. Yeah, yeah, and small things. All right, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank
Bye.
you, brother. All right, let's read some comments that I can see. Jason Jeremy, hi. Mark Spender, hi. David Gospel, finally, live feed was frozen for over 30 minutes. Greg Wiley, hey, Tom. Jeff Baxter, I don't know who the hell that guy is. Hi. Jeff is the guy that was here earlier working on audio. Incredible musician, incredible talent. Lisa Fisher Hurt. Oh, geez, Lisa, I know you. This is a great resource for people seeking sobriety and for those of us that have never had this demon but have relatives that have it. Gives me insight to the problem. Lisa, I, I know you. You're a childhood friend. I know what you're talking about, and I hope this does shed some light into your situation. So proud of you, Tom, and what you're using your notoriety to bring awareness. God bless. Brian Cobb, you're a good man. These people need you to keep up doing this show. I am doing the show, and now it says interrupted. So hopefully it's not going to interrupt, and we will have to uh, get that figured out before tomorrow night. That's just things. So we're going to try to call on someone else here that we haven't called that were here to. We called Daryl. We called Mike. We called Rick. Let's try Jordan Ward real quick. Jordan did not pick up earlier, and that's okay. That's okay. We could just sit here and talk. That's,
Hello?
Hey, Jordan.
Hey, Tom.
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I feel like drinking because all day long I've been working on the broadcast room here and thought I had the audio fixed. Got the lower third there. This is podcast. Try, and but now the Wi-Fi is freezing on people, and I just hate that. So we had to shut the show down and reboot it, and I think it's doing it again. So I may have to up my my Wi-Fi this week or something. But so tell me.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, yeah, right. So tell me about you, brother. Tell me. And I'm looking at myself. I look worn. I look old. Well, I am worn. I am old. So it is what it is. Tell us your story. Tell us about yourself.
Well, I am 29 years old.
You're
I
young.
live
Okay.
in Northwest Tennessee.
Okay.
I rode on the professional rodeo circuit for about 3 years. Before that, I rode high school rodeo. I was a bull rider. Um, got hurt, plenty of times throughout all that. And then right after I graduated high school, I broke my neck, broke all the ribs on my left side and collapsed a lung. And of course, throughout all of that, I started taking prescription pain medication. And that kind of, took a turn for the worse through all that. And I guess, thinking back on it now, it was probably something that was always kind of in my nature, I guess.
To have to have like an addictive personality.
Right. Yeah. My dad, he was, and still is, I guess, to this day, is an addict. He wasn't around when I was growing up, but I didn't even know who he was till I was about 13, I believe. And he's kind of been in and out of jail for drugs and drug related problems, and kind of growing up, that was kind of my thing. I wanted to stray away from that and be better and try to rise above it, but it did find its way to me, one way or the other. And after that, it was just a real struggle. Like I said, I'm 29 now, and I've only really been working on myself for about 3 years now. I've been completely clean for 3 years, but you still kind of have that day-to-day
Was it ever
battle.
alcohol and pain medication, or was it just pain pills?
I think and it's not something that I ever really had to seek out help for as far as the alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
But looking back on it now, I do think that it was.
So do you still drink?
It was kind of a replacement.
Do you?
I do. I do. I guess what you would call socially.
Like, do you drink every night?
No, not every night. It's maybe, I would say at the most, a couple of times a week.
Wow, you're one of the lucky ones. So you saw an issue with the pain pills, though. Look, there's a lot of celebrity. I mean, there's people who have back surgery, knee surgery, shoulders, and they're on those pills, and the doctors will tell them, you're going to have to go to rehab after this.
Right.
I mean,
right.
Because they're hard. It's a catch-22. When I had an aneurysm when I was sober, a pseudoaneurysm from a heart cath I had, and I opted for it. I knew that I was going to like the pain pills, so I took ibuprofen. And I had to double up on them, but I was afraid to take the pain pills.
Right. Well, in watching the show, I know a lot of the people that watch and interact with the show and stuff like that have a problem when it comes to alcoholism. And I've looked at it this way, now watching your show and kind of looking back on my situation, honestly, as bad as a time that I went through with pain medication and stuff like that, I would honestly look back on it now and say that alcoholism is probably the far worse situation because it's everywhere that you turn. You stop to get gas. You go into a gas
Oh,
station, and there it is, right there.
it's celebrated. They humanize it, and people who
Right,
aren't wired like me are okay with it. But when you're, oh, it's just, you can buy beer at 6 a.m. at the airport. You can buy beer at 9
right.
a.m. at the, Circle K. I definitely hear you. I definitely,
Yeah, with pain pills, it started out as it was prescribed to me, obviously for medical condition. I was in pain with
right?
everything that was going on, but then it slips away from that, and of course, from a doctor's perspective, your pain has got to end at some point.
Yeah.
So they're going to withdraw their care from you. Well, then you source it out from other places on the street. You know, um,
Yeah, and that gets
I've
dangerous
even
too.
had
You get to the point
right.
where you're taking too much prescription. So, well, man, I'm running late. But give me 60 seconds how we want to wrap this up. And I'm trying to get everyone in, and I feel bad. But what do you want to touch on that we haven't touched on, if there's anything?
Well, basically, I guess I would say is for everybody out there that's listening, focus on the positive aspects of everything. Yeah, it really is hell when you're going through it,
Hmm.
whether it be alcoholism or opioid addiction, whatever it may be. You know, you're laying on your couch, you're laying in your bed, you're suffering, you're wanting the fix, whatever it is. Just keep it in the back of your head that there are brighter days,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
the pain is gonna end. And the one thing that got me through all of it is there was just this realization moment that came across that if I take it upon myself to get control of myself mentally
Hmm.
and tell myself that I can do this, then there is nothing that is impossible
That's
after
right.
that.
That's right. Brother,
I mean,
thank you so much. I feel like I'm rushing you out, but I
no,
got.
you're good.
All right.
Absolutely.
Well,
I appreciate the opportunity of being able to come on and talk about it. So I'd love to come on and talk more anytime.
dude, and we'll have you back on. Email me, text me, whatever. I appreciate you, man. Talk to you soon.
Will do. Thanks, Tom.
Thanks,
Bye.
buddy. Everybody's being so understanding. I'm trying to move the show along. See, the comment said, "Did you know one of your shows made it on MTV Ridiculousness?" Yeah, I work with that show. They use my stuff often, and that's awfully nice. Um, so, Josh, I cannot talk, but I'll call you back. Uh, so let's go to. We're going to call this guy here, and let's see. Is the show? Are we still locked up, guys? Is someone leave me a comment on the computer? I'm going to call this guy. It's hauling removal. Make sure your computer's turned down hauling removal. Here we go. Jeff, if you're watching at home, but we do have an issue with the Wi-Fi. I'd like to look into and see what's happening there.
Hello?
Hi, it's Tom Mabe with Sober Talk. Am I calling the right number?
I don't know
Oh,
who
I'm
you are.
so sorry. My bad. It is. Hey, is there any alcoholics, drug addicts there? Is there anyone there? Okay, I got the wrong number. Is there anyone there who could come on the show? We need. Is your neighbor a drunk? Put them on the phone. Thank you. So,
Hello.
hey, buddy, turn your computer down. It's Tom Mabe. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing well. What's your name?
My name's Matt.
And Matt, you said you got 6 years under your belt or 8 years under your belt?
Yeah, 6 years now, 7 years.
Matt, can you talk
Proud
into?
to be.
I'm sorry. Okay, are you talking directly in the phone or are you talking on speaker?
I'm talking directly
That
in it.
that sounds good. Congrats, 6 years, man. That's freaking great. What was your poison?
I could think of, honestly.
You were a garbage can,
It
huh?
all,
Yeah.
yeah, pretty much. It all started with marijuana as a teenager, and progressed from there. And then losing my parents, I lost both of them to heroin, and I was on that for a short term after the fact.
Oh, jeez.
So yeah, it's been a long line of couple years on everything. To be honest with you.
What's it
So,
like losing both parents to a drug and then continue to do the same drug? Are you so addicted at that point where you just don't care?
well, honestly, I lost them before I even got on any of that.
That's insane, right?
Yeah, that's exactly. I guess it brought to a low point in your life. You're like, well, I wonder, what they was, what it did for them. So
Yeah.
I tried it and then ended up getting on that for 3 or 4 years, and then I had enough of it and
The
got
addiction.
myself clean.
Yeah. How long were you on it on the heroin?
About 3 years.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah,
And
I was on probably that crack for probably 4 years before that.
man.
Yeah, so it's all got to do with your mindset too. If when you're coping with things like loss and losing people or whatever you're dealing with in your life, if you try to stay away from that stuff, it kind of helps out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, no. It's hard to deal with life issues when it doesn't make it better when you're stoned or when you're drunk. It just
No, it doesn't. It sure doesn't.
you think you're helping yourself, but then no, it amplifies the problems by 20. And it's just so hard. I was talking to my therapist about this and just talking about life issues and whatnot. And she said, no, you're not doing yourself any favors. You're making it worse. You keep on
Yeah,
ripping this Band-Aid off. You go a couple days on drinking. Just stop. You're
yeah.
going to die. And how are you
Yeah, I
how are you
drink
coping with
alcohol.
life?
I probably drank a case. I was a case of beer a day for probably 4 years. So, and I did all of this, quitting every bit of this stuff. I mean, I'm probably 240 pounds, 230, somewhere in there, 6'2".
Mm-hmm.
And that was like my regular average size, from the time I was 15. And then, on that crap, I probably was down to 120, 130. So yeah, you look really sick, and your family and your people around you really know what you're dealing with, even though they don't really know exactly what you might be doing, no matter how good you hide it.
Right.
It just shows in your, living status, how you present yourself and all of that. But yeah, I did all that quitting, just basically going to church and trying to be around positive people. That was the main thing, is getting around away from,
So is that how you did?
your
Is that how you quit church? Was that your coping?
what.
Was that your
Well,
therapy?
I basically got around people that was in church, and here local where I live at in Dayton, Ohio, they have a Target ministry,
Mm-hmm.
and they serve food to the community and stuff like that on the weekends. And so we'd go there and just anything to stay busy, to feel like you're doing something, because if you ain't proactive and ain't doing stuff for either your community or your family, or feel like you're contributing, then you could fall right back off the wagon.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so you have any words of wisdom for someone out here who want to quit that you recommend?
I mean, be honest with you, just try. I mean, pray at night, pray for everybody around you, and just try to live better, step by step. Every minute that you're thinking is off of what you're trying not to do, and just try to do good is a minute you won.
Yeah, I
I mean,
definitely think doing good things. I love doing
yeah,
things for people who do good things too. And I think
yeah,
when you
that's
do that. Well, brother, thanks for giving me your phone number. I'm way over because we're having such technical difficulties here. But I got one
yeah.
more
No,
person
and I
to call.
appreciate you calling me, man. I really I watch all your
I lost you. Hello, you.
out here, and I appreciate watching you.
Hey, man, I appreciate you. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
All right, bud. Appreciate you.
All right, man. So we got one more call here. We are calling Mark Colin Yancey. Where did I know that name from? Where did I know? Boy, I hope it's. I know Yancey. I know that. So 304. 204. Okay, hold on here. This is what we call downtime in the podcast broadcast world. So we'll edit this out before we upload the podcast. We got to do a whole lot of editing, guys, prior to uh, putting this up on the podcast, but the Facebook Live is that's good.
What?
Hey, is this Mark?
Mark, what's up, Tom?
Hey, buddy, how are you?
I'm blessed, man. Doing another day.
How many days?
Another day of sober living.
How long have you been sober?
2.5 months.
Good. Hey, man, that's about where I'm at. I'm at 85 days, I think, according to my little. Let's look at my little diddlio here. Um, let's see. So, what was your weapon of choice, and where are you from? And do you have any dogs? Just curious.
Yeah, I got a bunch of them. I just put a goat. I just put a goat back in the fence that broke out. But I'm from Hinton, West Virginia, man, and my choice of quitting was kind of mandatory. You know, I got on an ankle bracelet in the program, but also and prior to that, my brother had passed. So, you know, that tragedy.
So you got arrested. Was it a direct result from dealing or doing or using? Or
I was being an ass. You know, I was being belligerent, and it got out of control at home here, where it was causing a scene, and I got like a felony charge from it. But I'm working through all that, and from 2.5 months ago to the day, I was a meth head. I was an alcoholic. I was a pot smoker.
Okay.
And you know, it's a day by day thing for me, man. And tonight I'm skipping my Zoom meeting just to be on this sober talk with you. Cause,
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I hate that you missed your Zoom meeting. You know, the Zoom is so cool. You can find a meeting at 3 o'clock in the morning in Australia. You know, so it's really so. I'm glad you're working something. Yeah. Again, I'm not a big book thumper, but I'm definitely glad you're doing the steps and you're it's still you got a lot of days, you got a lot of time in front of you that think something could go wrong, and that's what I tell myself. And very, very fragile right now, so be careful with that.
Yeah, I know that's right. My hardest thing is pot. About a month ago, I had quit smoking pot, so I've only been clean for a month technically, but
Okay.
2.5 months from alcohol and meth. You know, so pot was like something I've grown up with. I was introduced at like 7 years old, and alcohol as well. I was down in a bar at 7, passed out down here down the road. Thank God that bar is burnt down now. But
Yeah. Well, thanks
But,
for giving me your number. Let's wrap up in about 60 seconds. I got one more thing I need to do, and then I got to get home.
I just want to say for everybody out here that's sober or trying to get that way, you can do it. Everything is possible through Christ who strengthens us. And this is the day the Lord has made. Let us be glad and rejoice in it. That's the
Amen,
way
brother.
I'll end it, man.
No, thanks for the prayer. That was freaking awesome.
All right, Tom, you be safe, Bubba. Thank you for having me on here.
Mark, would like to have you on again and make sure that goat doesn't get out of the. You're in West Virginia, you say?
Yeah.
Someone sent me a meme. It says they can no longer. This is a god awful joke. Trust me, we get our share of Kentucky jokes. It was like they no longer have ice in West Virginia. The lady who had the ingredients died or something like that. It's awful, right?
That's funny.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, Tom.
And we'll see you. Bye. All right, I want to read something here. I haven't read my daily inventory yet, but on my app that I go here, it says, and when we were wrong, we promptly admitted it. Alcoholics Anonymous. I was beginning to approach my new life of sobriety when with unaccustomed enthusiasm, new friends were cropping up, and some of my battered friendships had begun to be repaired. That's good. Life was exciting, and I even began to enjoy my work, becoming so bold as to issue a report on the lack of proper care for some of our clients. One day, a coworker informed me that my boss was really sore because I complained. Submitted over his head, he's complaining, and he caused him. It had caused him much discomfort at the hands of his superior, so he's complained to his boss, or his boss's boss. I knew that my report had created the problem and began to feel responsible for my boss's difficulty. In discussing the affair, my coworker tried to reassure me that an apology was not necessary, but I soon became convinced that I had to do something, regardless of how it might turn out. When I approached my boss and owned up to the hand in his up to my hand in his difficulties, he was surprised, but unexpected things came out of our encounter, and my boss and I were able to agree to interact more directly and effectively in the future. I get these little. I do remember reading this at like 6:45 this morning. Daily inventory, and sometimes the stories are really good and really cool, and sometimes they hit home. And Let's see, Lisa. Well, hey Tom, I order. Well, Lisa, you ordered the wrong CBD. You didn't do it right. Call me. 20. Lisa has 22 years. Crescifoli. All right, we're gonna wrap up our call with one more call to my buddy here. Call Carl, and we're gonna get the heck out of Dodge, man. It has been a long day, and and let me just let's see here. Call Carl. Well, maybe we won't call Carl because my phone won't call. Guys, thanks for being here. I know that it's been kind of a crazy, crazy ass show, but these things happen. And Tom, it would be cool if Zoom would let you in with them and help people. This is DA. Thanks for the opportunity to come on and speak. That's Jordan. I've watched your comedy for years. Blah blah. Cigarette's been there. Lisa. Okay, guys. Yeah, I don't even know how I'm going to edit this episode into something really, really cool. I have no idea how this is going to work out. Uh, Natalie, you sound a tad out of sorts. I'm so sorry. I'm seeing your comments. Peace out, everyone. Much love sent everyone's way. All right, Natalie, love you, baby. Hope you hope whatever you said something about you're checking out. Hope that doesn't mean that you're going to go drink, but glad you're here, and we will talk with you soon, Carl. I don't know what's going on. Let me try Carl one more time because I won't edit all this out anyway. Let's see here. Call Carl. Carl he just makes me. I like ending the show with him. It just makes me feel.
Just a moment.
It just makes me feel good when I get to call Carl. And you know what? He texted me earlier, so I could be able to just do that. Let's go to his text. If you guys haven't heard from Carl, oh, Tom, you have been led to a gift. Let's see here. Let's call Carl. Let's call him here. There we go. There we go. If I could go the day without drinking, it is. I'm not going to drink because of the stress of this show. Can you imagine how the irony of that? Carl, I was just telling the viewers of what we have left here. I said my day has been so stressful with dealing with the audio and some of the stuff on screen that you're seeing. And I was like, can you imagine the irony if I drank because of the show? I really felt like I was going to have a drink because I felt like I needed a drink. I'll say that. And wow.
Yeah, I heard you say that a couple of times. And,
yeah, but right now it's just wrapping up. It's just been one mishap after another. But hey, it's been a good show. It's been a good night. So how are you doing?
hey, Tom, I'm doing good. I went ahead and left kind of early. Well, just a few minutes ago, I left office. I'm worn ass out too, and I think, hey, Tom, that's one of the damn things that gets. I think it works on people like me and you more than others. We allow ourselves to get damn worn out, and
jeez.
I mean, we love it, but then we realize, and then when it's too late, it's too late.
Oh, dude, I wake up working. I go to bed working. Being self-employed, I feel like I always need to just be doing something. When my daughter's going to college and to medical school, and it's just, it's
It's 24/7, dude.
it is 24/7. And thank God if I would have kept on doing it, my daughter would end up getting every possible student loan that she could possibly. I mean, I would not been of any use to my family if I remained being a drunk. That's all there is to it. Yeah, my business would gone to hell. Go ahead.
You ought to hear the difference in yourself now than 30 days ago. I mean, it's like you're this. Hey, I'm alcohol. What?
Yeah.
I don't fool with that shit anymore. I used to. I mean, really, you sound good. You sound well. You kind of cohesive even before, but really, Tom. I mean,
well, thank you. Thank you.
I was gonna say, you don't think me hell. You're helping so many people right now, including myself. It's unreal.
I'm helping myself too. It's the duality of doing this show is I'm helping myself. You guys are keeping me accountable, and hopefully, and I gotta call and check on Jim. Jim our buddy Jim stopped drinking. Jim Gibbons, when we were doing the show, he saw the show. And he said, "I got to quit." I think he's a comic. I've known him for years. I never knew he had a drinking problem. But,
Yeah, I heard him last. Yeah,
yeah.
or
Well,
night before. Anyway,
well, I just wanted to
hey,
check in with you. Go ahead. What else you got?
hey, real quick, I sent you that text that you have probably found the golden key and you don't know it yet. But really, by doing what you're doing, you can take. You're tired of the prank crap,
And,
but
and
now,
so you know, we are live. Just so you know.
well, I'm glad you told me that. Thank you. Uh, I hope.
No, we are live. I held the show long just so I could call you. I got to call one more guy because I forgot I got to check on Jim.
Hey, but what you're doing right now has to be a dream of every drunk that or alcoholic that has the ability to. You are able to fulfill a dream to help others and be passionate about what you're doing. And
I'm
man,
very. I love this, and I think that you know I think it could be something. I mean, I would love to have more programs on sober talk. You know, I got the wellness farm. I'm all about doing things that help me and help other people. I know that sounds phony as hell, but
no,
I really do have a passion for it.
that's the way it's supposed to be. And uh, the Christmas time has always, and what I was going to say, even after I was 10 months sober, but these holiday seasons, they get sort of, how am I going to do Christmas or
Yeah,
Thanksgiving?
no, I hear you, but I think I'm going to be good. We'll probably have our big Christmas party where we have 100 people at the house, and I just, I didn't drink the last two, so I'm used to not drinking at the Christmas party. I went 2 Christmases without drinking, so I think I'll do. No, last Christmas I did drink, but 2 prior to that I didn't. But well, wait, Carl, I like calling you toward the end of the show. I do want to touch base with Jim really, really fast before I go. And
No.
You mind if I talk to you later on, brother?
Yes, sir. That'll be great. Have a great night, Tom. Everybody else out there. Thanks for participating.
All right. Thank you, brother. Talk to you soon.
All right. Good night, Tom.
Night. Maybe I'll give Jim a call on the way home. So, guys, I love you. I appreciate you hanging out to what has been probably the most technically challenged sober talk to date. But that's okay. That's okay. I'll be here again tomorrow at 8 o'clock. I'm going to take Saturday and Sunday off. If we can't figure out what's wrong with the Wi-Fi, then we're going to have even a more issues tomorrow. But I want to thank everyone who came on this show. And Ricky, I want to have you back on because I'm not sure that your stuff was saved. I know I got it to the podcast recording, so it was good. So I do have that. So, all right, guys, I love you. Talk to you soon. Thanks.